Morning, everybody. I hope you are all doing well. I wanted to just make a short screencast for you here to go over anything that might still be confusing you with some of the poems that you were doing in class as I've been out. First of all, thank you all for the those of you that sent me emails wishing me well. I really, really appreciate that. It is definitely not fun staying home being sick. So I look forward to getting back really, really soon. I miss you guys. So first, station number one in our packet was My Papa's Waltz, and some things that I want you to think about in regards to this poem, taking a look at the questions. What inferences can you make regarding the economic circumstances, such as upper, middle, lower class of the family? I want you to pay attention to things like uh, your hand that held my wrist was battered on one knuckle. Moving on, your palm caked hard by dirt, then waltz me off to bed, still clinging to your shirt. So pay attention to those little words, one or two words here and there that could have such a huge meaning to some of these questions here. Question number two, how does the boy feel about his father? What words in the poem communicate this information? Again, this poem, you need to pay extra attention to the most simplest of words in order to be able to understand the poem as a whole. Moving on, Cassandra. So obviously, you were to complete steps A and B even before you read the poem. The biggest thing we need to know about Cassandra is that she was thought to be crazy. In the Who is Cassandra, you read basically the story about her, how she denied the sexual advances of Apollo, and he was so humiliated by this that he decided to put a curse on her. And that curse was that Cassandra could see into the future, for example, the Trojan War. She could see into the future and she saw impending doom. And she tried to warn her people, but the curse that Apollo put on her was such that she could see into the future and she knew what was going to happen, but yet when she told her people, nobody would believe her. So imagine that. Imagine that you know something horrible is going to happen to our city tomorrow, and you're trying to warn your people, and they all just look and laugh at you and think that you are crazy. So this is called the Cassandra curse. So then you saw a quick video clip from the movie Cassandra, where she is trying to warn her people, and everyone is just looking at her like she's crazy, and they drive her away, literally kicking and screaming. So you can pretty much figure out who the speaker of this poem is because of what you read in the Who is Cassandra. And clearly, based on the diction in the poem, you can see how mad, angry, and humiliated the speaker is, especially with the word bitch. There is no word, I think, in my opinion, that is more degrading or disrespectful than this word in regards to calling a woman that. I want you to think about what this poem would be like without that word. So again, just like the previous poem, one or two words can really make or break the tone and the theme that we're feeling within the poem. So your questions here as far as the speaker, and some more questions down here. A lot of these questions are based on what we found out in the background information. A little focus again on allusions, quick definition for you, and because the imagery is so intense in this poem, that is why I'm asking you to draw or locate a picture with how you see it in your mind. Again, we all read the same poem. The beauty of it is we are allowed to see it however we want to see it. I'm going to bypass a dream deferred for right now. And what you're working on today, Thursday, is War's Kind. This is probably the most complex poem. It's our longest poem. And it's clearly one big paradox. Clearly, war is not kind. So right off the bat, we're dealing with paradox. The speaker, obviously talking to a maiden, trying to tell her that it's okay because your lover or your son or your father, as we see here, was killed in war. Basically, the speaker is telling her, even though these people that you love died, don't worry about it. That's okay. War is kind. So clearly, you hear sarcastic tone because war is not kind. You cannot console a maiden who's just lost her son or her brother or father or her lover, whatever. So clearly we have a very sarcastic tone. Lots of symbolism here. Eagle with crest of red and gold. So we know eagle representing freedom, the flag. Great paradoxes here. Virtue of slaughter. Clearly slaughter is not virtuous. Excellence of killing. Clearly killing is not excellent. So again, a paradox, meaning a contradicting phrase. A great hyperbole here, a field where 1,000 horses lie. The over-exaggeration, basically just saying a lot of people died. Great alliteration here, bright splendid shroud of your sun. Heart hung humble as a button, great simile as well. So a great poem for figurative language. And here you are focusing on connotation and denotation. So again, you'll see with a lot of these poems, I'm having you focus specifically on words, the power of a single word or a few words in a poem. So selecting any 3 words, writing its denotation, which literally is just the literal definition of a word, but then also writing that word's connotation. And remember, connotation is the feeling or emotion created by a word. You want to make sure when you answer that, the feeling or emotion you're writing here is the one that is being expressed within the poem. So make sure that it's not just what you're feeling, but also that emotion created with how that word is used in the poem. You are completing a tip cast on this today. You'll see that you're going to be doing it instead of paper pencil. I have the template for you in today's folder. Please be careful with the paraphrase section. Take note of my little note I put in the paraphrase section when you begin the tip cast. Some of us are still summarizing what a stanza is saying instead of literally looking at, the poet's line and then putting that line into our own words. So please be very careful with that. Online students, you don't have to email me your completed tip cast because I have the template right in today's folder. So sorry for that confusion. So again, I hope this little discussion helped you in terms of understanding the meat and potatoes of the poems. We are going to do a few more things with this. We still have Station 5 poem that we're going to get to. But please email me with questions if you are stuck or need some help. And I hope to see you guys very, very soon.